Day in AlkenStar. Regardless of whether one resides in Skyside's luxurious penthouses or Smokeside's Spartan tenements, many residents of the Clockwork City plan their day around the Whisper Sheets, probabilistic projections of magical weather patterns around AlkenStar. Whisper Sheets define any given hour in two major categories. An hour of bronze time means higher chances for magic stability and predictable weather, while an hour of surge time indicates increased likelihood of magical surges and climate fluctuations. The production of the Whisper Sheets is a joint project between AlkenStar's temples of Adabar and Brie. The Brie priests use hometrical rituals and statistical analytics to generate the Whisper Sheets, and the Avdarians handle the distribution, publication to everyone every day, free of charge. For the Brie clergy, this arrangement allows them to share the liturgies and blessings of the Whisper in bronze, while the Avdarians enjoy the publication's ability to condition public behavior and increase social order. Welcome to another exciting episode of the All Guns No Glory podcast. We are in season 2 of Pathfinder's Outlaws of AlkenStar, and we are trying to make the switch to core in most of our Pathfinder 2nd edition stuff. Core books, we have the regular, the GM, and the monster, and of course, we don't necessarily have all the new archetypes. So we will still keep our cloak, tail, bag of ammo, whatever you want to call it, in Legacy, Pathfinder Legacy, and as new things surface, like much more healing for certain clerics in our party, as of the new Pathfinder 2nd edition core rules, we will dive in, grab into that bag as quickly and as expediently as we can wrap our head around it for you to stay up in the times. So, gentlemen, with Andreas still mysteriously absent, seeing to his own business, Phoebe has asked you in a 200 gold purse, that's 50 each. I don't know what you guys want to do with Andreas's 50, or just, divide it three ways and he's out. We shall see. I wouldn't suggest adventuring with only 3 in this book too. The more friends, the merrier. She suggests 3 avenues. 1, she mentions a nosy neighbor of the cleric you're looking for that has been telling tall tales about the incident of his disappearance and lodging complaints with the shield marshals about noise in general from his workshop. Number 2, and most recently, and the biggest thing, she has actually arranged for you to meet with some of the clergy and give up their valuable time for an interview so you guys can ask questions in this investigation at the Brie Temple itself. And third, of course, there is the warehouse where Muglin was spotted with thugs chasing our guy out to investigate his warehouse itself. What do you do?
Maybe we should go for the appointment with the clergy first. Hate to be late.
I kind of think that's the best idea, man. I don't even know where Andreas went off to, so we don't have a lot of people fighting for us. Let's go have a nice sit and talk.
Now, the players all have it in for either Loveless or Muglin. But I don't think the table shared too openly exactly what those people did to you and the connections to your past. I don't think anyone openly said, I was a gun runner and I'm a criminal and the law got in the way, but he's crooked too, so I'm out of a job. Or I was making my way down Tertiary Lane and minding my own business with the new patent in my hand, and the guy swindled me out of it. Like, you know what I mean? So there's a little digging that we're going to get into, not just flauntedly that we have a skeleton and robot with partial memories, but a little bit more backstory to dig up as we push our stories forward. So look forward to that. The players and the audience might know a little bit more about your backgrounds that you guys chose than the actual player characters themselves. So keep that in mind. Try not to meta it until, it sort of comes out around the table, as it were. So that's one vote to off to the temple. Is that all 3 ayes? Say yes. Aye.
We must be careful to watch our backs as we travel along. Muglin could have sent people to check for us.
Yeah, maybe keeping an eye on our back is a good idea.
True. Looking out for you, says Phoebe. But keep in mind, the original party that I hired disguised themselves with the hats I gave out, and a lot of you, shall we say, have been, with a knowing wink to our druid in the corner, picked up along the way. You might not have put all the pieces together. Now, I'm not saying you should, swing the Countess or my name around every time you guys knock it on a door, and I'm sure it's getting around the city that you guys are interested in a little bit more than just the odd castle tour and asking your questions and, what's been going on. And I'm sure that monkey scoundrel and maybe any remaining keg punks that may have survived an ordeal with you are spreading the word that you guys are, shall we say, notorious in your own right. She strokes her chin and says, might you boys come up with a name for yourselves yet?
A name? For us?
I'm Pilo Huesos. I told you that a long time ago.
What I'm saying is, since you boys are not very good at keeping a low profile, you might want to lean into sort of the notoriety of, being your own gang. The gang that took down the powdered punk kegs,
That's not a bad idea.
I'll leave it with you. She says,
I got
nothing. I got nothing. He agrees and is like, I got nothing. Something to keep in your craw while you're out in the streets, boys. Now off with you. I got a bullet and barrel to tend to. I can't be babysitting you all every day. So boot, out secret entrance or out into the main floor, one at a time, inconspicuously. And off we go.
You do traveling music, Troy?
What was that?
Do you do traveling music for us? Is that what happens, or are we silent?
Do something, just you just kind of make up something as it goes along.
Little dance on the ribcage.
Going to the church, going to see Brie, gonna go to the temple, going over there, gonna see what's going on over there. Kind of how Pilot would do it, I think.
Well done.
He's strumming on the ribs, or
yeah, not drawing attention at all, singing about exactly what we're gonna do.
I will say, for role-playing your character and leaning in towards your character class, you guys, I believe it's time to reset your hero points, and I will award Troy an additional one. Just for his little ditty. Because he did it 3 things without hesitation, seriously as he could, without just making overly a joke about it. And again, he was playing his character in character and leaning into the class. I don't want you guys fishing for hero points going, my character would totally do that. You don't get points for showing up, but not too chabby, Mr. Troy Phillips. Okay, so you're on your way. Well, let's have a look at the old map here, shall we? Looks like I got the crappy map that doesn't tell you anything. I think I posted the crappo map. Well, shit. Guess that's all you get. I do know that you have to cross the bridge. I do know it's in Skyside, and I do know it's in the Auburn district, if I'm not mistaken. The Temple of Brie is near the college. So you guys head back over to Skyside, where things are fancier, streets are cleaner. Now, speaking of low profile, I don't know how many video games you guys play, but I imagine every time you guys level, right, you guys move runes from weapon to weapon, or clean yourselves up, or as you get adventuring gear, change your look to make room for the new axe, weapon, sword, gun, right? So let's start off with our Russian death machine, who got himself a brand new gun. Did you get a new holster, or have you got your good old bandolier, quick, just a new gun in the old holster? You got, anything new and shiny with all this money?
My frame has certain sections to it that I can attach items to, kind of thing.
You have hooks. Keys on your back and you have no idea where the janglings come from. Please tell me that's true. You have hooks on you somewhere randomly.
It's what I came up with for one of my one of my feats, where I can I can reload while I have my pistol in my one hand and my sword in my other. I've got some sort of like wrist mechanism that I can just slide my gun along my wrist and it loads a bullet back in there, kind of thing. So
nice. So it's like it attaches to this lever and then it slides into your palm and you fire it away or put it away. But once it's there, it can also just kind of flip out of the way or slide back a little bit. And that's cool. Very cool. Okay. I'm just curious. We talked about your initial, how you look at everything. Are you all scuffed up and beat up from said war we never fought, or have you managed to, 4 levels worth of scratches and blaster scoring, I'm sure, but
this shell is definitely not my original from thousands or hundreds of years ago.
Of course.
But it's got, the wear and tear from living in this city for an extended period of time.
The guy that was playing a construct with a magical soul crystal in our other podcast that I follow, Dice of Thunder, shout out to those boys. I am a Thunder buddy. No shame. Their clockwork gunslinger died, and they're carrying around his soul gem wondering what to do with it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you're the last man standing. Let's put it that way. There you go. Okay. I won't go around the table, but is there anything since the last time we spoke and leveled? Because I did talk about your gear and stuff. Is there anything new and shiny or different? I don't know.
Other than my pistol, I've got a grapple gun.
Yeah, we talked about that.
How about you, Drew?
Nope. I got some dirt from my garden, and I've been rubbing that on me.
Okay. I'd like to think little buddy's got some kind of little poncho. Instead of just running around naked. People complained. So you got him a little rag. It's like a poncho, like Dobby the elf from Hogwarts, and just something to wear to kind of cover him going, look, he's marked. He's not like a wild leashy, you know what I mean? He has accuments or something, and
Yeah, just tore off some of my cloak for him.
Just wrap it around him like a little mummy. Okay. And Pilo has been discussing with me behind the scenes, debuting some of his new spells and taking on a more fleshy look and working on that new look for when completely necessary.
Yeah, he can also do a quick disguise as well if he needs to look not necessarily as fleshy, but at least a little less skeleton-y. So I did take
skeleton-y?
a little less undead. I did take a quick disguise, so I can make a disguise in about a minute rather than hours.
Okay. Very handy, very handy.
Mm-hmm. So we can kind of put on the fake nose and mustache, and now I'm not a skeleton anymore.
So off we go to the Temple of Brie. Yes.
Any qualms with that, Andreas?
He's not here. Dude's been in the wind your entire downtime.
Oh, right.
He even missed the mission briefing. I know. He became such a teammate and saved your lives. You just keep turning to his empty seat like he's there, and he's like, where is he? Don't worry. We'll get to that. He's not out of the show. If, Eric and I have been discussing some angles about what he's been doing with his downtime and to explain some possibly of his leveling and new feats. Can't have everything up front. Somebody has to be a man of mystery. I can't bonk another character in the hand going, aha, you're mysterious because you have no memory. We're not doing that a third time. Sorry, Speigler. All right. Off we go. So, the Temple of Brie is impressive. I'm not saying that something that has a cog and clockwork motif feels like home to our certain construct gunslinger, but I am saying that these guys with their stone and bronze walls, everything is done in like a cream colored white and tans and bronze and gold and silver, do it in style. This place has done well for itself, and rightly so. I mean, if you are in a world of magic and then you take magic away and the human and all the populations need something to fill that gap and they decide invention and they lean towards a goddess and she's the goddess of invention, I'm not certain, but I'd have to say this has got to probably be one of the biggest, most powerful temples to this goddess on this planet, if you think about it. It's got to be in the top 3, if not number 1. So, ooh and ah at the pearly gates of Brie, where Andreas, our dwarven, cog-armed cleric, has not joined us to go. Oh, he would be so useful right now. Eh? That's kind of tough. No, we're stuck with an undead guy. Hey, Pilo, you just gonna walk in here, robes and ribs? What's the plan?
Well, Pilo doesn't exactly have robes and ribs. He's more of a assless chaps and a vest. So I think I would try to at least I'd probably be like look at my associates here and be like, Mr. Charwin, my best friend there. You got that nice big robe you always wear, and I'm wondering, you got something I could just kind of poncho myself with to hide some of these ribs I got going on here? I'm not sure how temples like skeleton background.
Oh, you need to hide some of the pearly whites of yourself, huh?
Well, I'm not just. This is a sacred place where, you know, sacred things happen, and I don't want to do anything sacred to me.
Oh, so we shouldn't be talking about how you might be interested in some new mechanical parts?
I don't go that far. But for the first meeting,
you walking around on hallowed ground. You are a being infused with negative energy. Is there anything, like, they've made exceptions for a player, like you're not a monster, they've stripped you of some of the monster's abilities and powers, and they've dumbed you down a bit, but they give you the potential for character class and be played, though you're still technically undead. Is there anything on your sheet about resistances or vulnerabilities to ground that is consecrated?
nothing, no.
Okay. So unless directly attacked or, you know, that type of thing, you shouldn't have any ill effects. Or you could just wear shoes. Hey, that might be an idea. Let's get the boys some sandals, you know.
Yeah, so I would probably ask if Charwin had anything to help me kind of cover up a little bit, or even if my best friend Val there, and then maybe just make myself a quick little disguise of whatever I got.
Sure.
Yes, I'll hand him over some kind of cloak that I've got, and I'll just, you know, wear my hide leather proudly.
So now anyone passing by, the proverbial 30-foot away onlooker isn't going to, like, draw the stares that he has been. Now, again, I cannot iterate this enough. If he was considered a monster, it would be, burn, witch, burn. Because he's undead, and because AlkenStar is familiar with the nation of Geb, they just assume he's from there. And there's a bit of prejudice and scowls and that type, but that's actually better being treated like a person that they hate or don't like or stay away from or fear than an actual creature where they're just like, you know, the dead are loose and they'll try to kill you outright. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So progress, Pilo. Oh. Anyway, cloak and hood up. Let's keep a low profile and up to temple you go. Okay. Now, hopefully, Phoebe has explained to at least the clerics that we're going to meet who you guys are, what you look like, and what you are. I guess you're about to find out. The name you have been given to inquire about Kosawana is that you are to meet with tertiary cog, and yes, that is a title, Minticus a lawful, neutral, female human priest of Brie, 5th level. A very formal priestess who often deals with the church's public affairs. This information, without having to roll, was given to you by Phoebe herself. So she says, I've set you up with the public, the PR cleric. Okay? Before you, in a white cloak and robe, trimmed with gold and bronze, wearing a chain circlet on her forehead with 3 consecutive linked cogs, possibly some sort of decorative or holy symbol, a simple clasp of steel etched with a circle and what looks like 2 hands of a clock. Dusk-skinned, dark blue eyes, full lips, and I want to say tawny, almost scraggly-looking brown hair poking out the sides of her hood. Menticus is polite, reserved, and will see you now. She is accompanied by an acolyte named Duga, and it is Duga who, as you guys are meted by guards and give Phoebe's name and, get past the initial stuff, takes you to sort of a side door. They don't parade you through the front door. They're like, oh, come over here, kind of thing. Take you around a side garden where you guys see sculptures and workshops and a bunch of amazing stuff going on before you can peer into any doorway or anything too deeply. They take you through a bit of a maze and then through a little side door to meet Tertiary Cog Menticus. She greets you formal, polite, and reserved. When I was contacted by Phoebe Dunsmith, I understand that a considerable donation was given for our time. Please send her my thanks and regards from the great goddess and from all of us here at Brie Incorporated. Nod, bow, and Duga does the same. Now, gentlemen, how may I help you?
Well, we heard about Kosawana, and we had some interest in finding out more reasons about his recent events here at the church, because we're interested in the church. As I try diplomacy to sweeten the deal of us being interested in joining the church potentially.
Really? She says. She turns to Duga. Duga is holding a very large tome with a pale porcelain-looking white mask on it. He opens it, but without glancing down, though possibly went right to the same page or the right page, and seemingly from memory, starts advocating out clockwork latching mechanisms, popping open the book, and goes to appropriate page and points out a heading reading Regulation 1452. And he turns the book towards you, Mr. Druid. Regulation 1452. All components shall advance the function or aesthetic qualities of the device. Any component shall be solved. The book shut. Menticus, his senior, nods, eyes closed, savoring the logic, and then pops them open at Pilo. Sorry, go ahead, Pilo.
This whole place is singing? Oh, I'm gonna like this place. Okay, keep talking.
You asked about Cog Koaswana. So it was with primary Cog Koaswana, inflectioning that she's, someone even more important than her at one time. He chose not to serve the church, so was declared superfluous to our needs. He continues to serve the Whisper in Bronze she says, looking up at a huge epitaph of the goddess above your heads. In his own way, perhaps, but not in any official capacity. I believe his workshop is in the Ferris Quarter along the river, 3 blocks west of Hammer Street.
Oh, well, maybe he's just not ready yet to upgrade, as it were.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I guess I was reading between the lines of him not wanting to advance himself. You know, robotic arm, leg, eye.
Antigus frowns and pauses to consider your question. Regulation 475 guides us, she says. She gestures to the acolyte, who recites the passage from memory once again, activating the gears, popping the book open. It is not for the gear to determine how it will turn, but for the marker to set the design. Each gear must work with those beside it. It's never a choir boy. I better stop doing this.
No, it's okay. You can keep going, man. You're the best reader I've ever heard.
Tickus nods at this. Oloman, that's his last name, found himself fascinated with some of the, shall we say, less accurate records in our archives, from which he formed a particular worldview. Instead of helping him grow the knowledge of the faith, he fell victim to lies and half-truths. Grand Cog Linealer Lanenler finally asked him to retire from public duties to prevent further embarrassment.
You said he was looking through older stuff, like stuff that we just know wasn't really good, or like older books, or like where was he looking for these things?
The secret library.
Well, it can't be much secret if you just tell us about it like that. So, where is this library that you call secret? Because we already know about it, so you don't have to keep it secret now.
The sacred, she says, correcting you on your misturn of a phrase, the sacred library is buried deep beneath the temple and has very restricted access.
Yeah, so it's a secret library, gotcha. And how would one gain access to such of a sacred, secret society? Library, book place.
She just looks at you flatly. Let's go back to that diplomacy check that Drew was fishing for.
Who's going to diplomacy? Me or
no? Drew was trying to do some diplomacy that started off going, "We're to join the faith," or "Want to know more about it." And that's kind of a good grease for the wheel. So he rolled in the tower.
Hold on, Pilo. I have a question for Mantekas. This sacred library, would it have any records on the old civilization that created my kind?
She looks you up and down. She says, "Child of Brie, you are blessed with your sentience and continued existence," she says, hinting at possibly she knows what's under the hood. But the sacred library is vast. It could take days to learn such information, and I cannot say I do not doubt it is there. But still, to seek knowledge, whether you gain fruition at the end of journey, is still a holy act, child. Great.
So, would you give me the honor of entering your sacred library, based on the fact that I am a blessed one, as you said?
Can I have diplomacy for that statement?
It's untrained.
It's oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Well, you're just kind of like turning around. What'd you get? 2?
Yeah. I was trying to like maybe go outside of diplomacy because I'm a special case as an automaton kind of thing.
I was considering giving you like a plus to your roll, like +2 because you're automaton.
Okay. Yeah.
But that would still only bring you up to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. There's still intimidation. You know, load your gun. But of course, that might not go very well here. For whatever reason, she just sort of smiles at you and remains silent, as if you must. The no is obvious at the moment.
I understand. Charwell, why don't you continue?
If you seem to know him pretty well, this Kasawana, and we've been interested in having a little talk with him. Do you know where he might go if he was looking to escape quickly?
At this, Minticus raises an eyebrow in mild surprise. We haven't kept up with the goings-on of the former primary cog for quite some time now. In accordance with Regulation 1452, Oloman Kasawana is no longer associated with our temple. She turns to the acolyte, and for the first time for everybody, but for the second time for our cog wielding, soul gem carrying gunslinger, a glitch or deja vu seems to happen. To the rest of you, this is the first time he's done it. But she turns to him after you guys ask about Kwasana openly later, and he does the first Regulation 1452 song saying, basically, you're not a cog for us, you're out.
No, that's a little disappointing. I thought you guys would all kind of talk, especially how he was the primary at one point. But I understand.
A primary, not the primary.
Oh, see, so much to learn. Many primaries. Interesting.
How can you have lots of number one? That's I don't know how you guys work. Okay.
It's like two people when they go up to a tree and then they, relieve themselves doing number one. Multiple number ones.
Pilo, are you monitoring the floor, or do you actually lift your head and face these people?
I would have probably been just like, what? Then put my head down and just, I don't understand.
Okay, so you're just someone behind them, just kind of they might get a flash of white, but you're not exactly making burning eye contact.
No. I'm just kind of there. I'm with my group. I'm talking, but I'm not out.
No, that's fine. Pilo is usually so friendly. I just assume every time you speak, you kind of step forward, give your opinion, turn to your friend to the side, and then step back. But I just wanted to be clear that you're just kind of behind them, just giving your view, but not exactly,
As my time when we were taking a bit of a break with Pilo, he was laying around watching the city, learning how people interact. So he's a little more subdued.
Okay, that's cool.
Why he learned to make a disguise and to kind of... People don't like skeletons too much, so kind of learned that.
Okay. Any other questions, gentlemen?
You were talking about this library that's all sacred and downstairs, and is there any way that you could bring some of those books to us so we could look at them in the company of others? That way we're not going through them and stealing them and taking secret stuff. You can just kind of show us what we want to see.
The library, the sacred library, is open to those who have made progress in Brie's teaching. An inventor, an alchemist, someone with a bright idea, someone that can contribute to Brie's vision and add to the library might be able to secure a future appointment.
Now, you're talking about cogs and wheels and all sorts of other little mechanical things, and just if somebody were to ask, are bones and skulls and stuff all kind of part of the machine? Could bones and skulls all be part of Brie's wishings? Or is there another god who would deal better with bones and skulls and skeletons? Just asking hypothetically.
The tenets of Brie lie in the mysteries of innovation and invention. Steel, bronze, sweat, tears, blood, and devotion. Though these things may be housed around bone, I do not think the goddess deals with bones specifically.
But how
As to
about
another
if I'm
god, I'm not sure.
Bones and skulls and skeletons are part of the body. We make up parts that fit together. Is that better? Now can I join?
She turns back to the druid and gunslinger. Do you have any other questions before your interview is over? She says.
I could possibly... you could examine me and add any sort of discoveries to your library. I have an ancient memory which not everything is clear to me. Possibly there's a way we could pull out those memories using this power of Brie.
Are you insinuating that you've been damaged, child, that you need service? To be serviced in service of Brie. Yeah, same word means two different things in that sentence. Figure it out. For a modicum sum, our clergy would be happy to oil you, bathe you, let you play with our kittens, all that kind of thing.
No, I was just saying I could have some valuable knowledge to your clergy here. You could add to your library, and in exchange, we could seize the books we are asking about.
Or even just give us the titles. Like, will we be able to find these books elsewhere, or are they only in your secret library?
Let's look up diplomacy, Drew. How many times can you fire off diplomacy in one session? I was under the impression unless you have a completely different angle, or as she hinted, go away, come back with something useful, and we'll diplomacy again another day, or another hour at least. Can you just, fire a couple off from the hip as per the new rules?
Yeah, so it says you have to have a 1-minute conversation at least. And then you seek a good impression of someone, temporarily agreeable, and at the end of the conversation you make a diplomacy check against their will DC.
Okay.
So yeah, it kind of sounds like I don't see a time limit. It sounds like it must be a conversation.
I'll give Speigler credit for trying to fish another angle, look inside my chest and be amazed. But I think the way they see you is you're special to Brie, but you're not like all that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you start talking about your memories and stuff, and they're like, oh dear, you have brain damage? Oh, we can help you. We can help heal you. But now they're treating you like you're a patient and they're doctors.
Yeah.
Give us money and we'll heal you. But that actually, now that you're here, that might not be a bad idea. We want to slap down some of that extra gold and see if we can't dig around your psyche or.
Yeah,
hey guys, let's take the afternoon off. I want to be done over,
Yeah, possibly for a future visit or something like that. We can.
No time right now, but we must. Okay. Well, it sounds like as per the rules and as per I've been role-playing hinting, you've kind of exhausted these avenues unless you guys have some brilliant other idea or game changer to pull out of a rabbit of a hat. They tell you that he's been excommunicated. They haven't kept tabs on him. You kind of know where his last residence is. So unfortunately, the bonus angle here was to impress them, get some great diplomacy going, and have access to the library and get into a whole research thing. But not a bust in the campaign if you guys don't get that far. Like, this is why I like to give multiple avenues. All roads kind of lead to Rome. Just on how much cherry picking and strawberry chip picking you get to do along the way. So you guys haven't exactly hit a wall here as far as the campaign goes, but it does seem that you're kind of, might want to try something radically different or call it a day here at the temple unless you guys have other questions before she ends the interview.
Well, I was actually dead serious that is there like Brie, who likes the pieces of cogs and stuff, who likes pieces of people. Is there like a god of bones?
Religion check for her. She says, I'm certain there is, but I will not speak his name. Not here.
His name. All right, I'm already on my way, thank you. I appreciate your help.
Did I say him? I meant it's. She scratches at an old tattoo that worn off with a little skull and bone on it. No, nothing. Underground clergy. I'm not part of that cult anymore. I don't know what you're doing. Scratch. Any other questions?
I can't.
What
really
have you
think of
asked?
anything else,
I know it's hard to be put on the spot, especially like put on the spot as a character. So the GM, let me help you. What have you asked them already?
We've asked about his past, where he came from, kind of where he went.
Right. Not where he went. You asked if they knew where he is, but not where he might have gone. Like, you guys know that he's buggered off.
Okay.
I know it seems a very close question.
Yeah, we asked if she knew where he might go if he was like under distress. He had to run off.
Okay. Well, as far as where he is, she told you about that. As far as where he went, she tells you, I do not. Oloman and I have not spoken since he left the church years ago. All I can do is direct you to his workshop. Perhaps his neighbors may be able to provide you with more of the information you seek.
I think that's a pretty good avenue to follow up with, my friends. And you said you knew where he lived, or you already tell us where he lived? Sorry, I was lost in the singing from your friend over here.
So many streets from Hammer something, I think.
Yeah. Is it something Hammer Street?
I don't think it's on our map anyway, so we could just kind of look for it.
And then,
if you guys are ready to leave, or get anything else?
I guess the only other question I have is, so we don't make the same mistakes as him. Do you know the title of the book that he was reading or the subject it was about?
Ooh, that's a good question.
She turns to Duga, and the acolyte recites another passage in response. Regulation 317. In order to truly create an original device, one must first create the entire cosmos. Yeah, bitches, that's cool. All makers build upon those who have come before them, and it is the duty of every maker to leave a foundation for future makers to build upon. Minticus nods in agreement, and then she elaborates. Even old text, rife with error, are retained by our order, but some stories from the past are meant as an allegory, or require heavy revision and annotation in light of new understandings and knowledge. Oloman took a few of these stories a little too, shall we say, literally, and it infected his work, she says sadly. His teachings, even his mind, eventually. You must understand, every religion has those who believe they have cracked the code or uncovered truths that generations of researchers before them have missed. When presented with evidence, these people merely invent a bigger conspiracy to explain away the incongruity that allows them to maintain their new beliefs. Such was the way with Oloman. We will miss him, and we have missed him.
Was there anything that he could do that you guys couldn't? Did he have any special abilities or something that kind of made him able to get to be a primary that others wouldn't have?
He was a brilliant inventor, a brilliant man, a true believer in Brie until his, shall we say, recent hard turn right at the crossroads. We have many such clergy here. New, turning to Duga, bright, looking away from Duga, and Duga's shoulders slump. And those who aspire for greatness and achieve it through experimentation, research, and blah, 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 blah.
When you say he didn't serve like the whole of the church, do you mean like he didn't like leave behind schematics and drawings and such that others can build upon, like you were talking about?
Or did he go from like turning himself into a robot to turning him back into a human again? Did he take off his mechanical?
I never said he was a robot.
Well, like mechanical arms and stuff, you're basically turning into robot. That's kind of cool. But was he trying to like not robotify and turn back human again? Like stitch flesh back onto himself?
I have no such knowledge of him practicing any sort of surgery or augmentation on himself while he was here. What he has done in the last few years, I cannot say. Perhaps you know something I do not. Look at the goddamn picture, Troy.
I'm just asking the person. I don't have a picture in front of me here, giant guy.
Speigler put it forward and Troy's like running with it, but I just, you know what? It's good. It's good RP, man. Just having a little fun. She frowns and pauses to consider the question. Not yours, the druids. Regulation 475 guides us, she says, gestures to the acolyte who recites the passage from memory.
My favorite part.
Anyway, being defeated that she hinted that he wasn't bright, he just says the rest of the lines flatly to get back at her. It is not for the gear to determine how it will turn, but for the maker to set the design. Each gear must work with those beside it, or else the device will fail. Mintoikus ignores him and just nods. Oloman found himself fascinated with some of the, shall we say, less accurate records in our archives. And like I said before, this changed his worldview. Instead of helping grow knowledge of the faith, he fell victim to lies and half-truths. Grand Cog, as in the top of their order, not primary Cog, but Grand Cog, Lanendaler finally had to ask him to retire from public duties to prevent further embarrassment. Gunslinger, again, deja vu. You are certain that she just talked about this practically 95% of those same words like 2 minutes ago. But everyone's acting like they've all been asked, or she just spit this out new now.
Have you seen many, I've heard talk about Muglins coming and going from this chapel. Is that true?
I do not know Mr. Muglin personally, and I have never met him. However, I do believe as a wealthy investor from Skyside, he has made significant contributions and has advocated a finder's fee in schematics and inventions from his fellows to the church in our past.
I see, yes. Smart man.
If memory serves me, I believe recently his most recent addition had something to do with a dwarven smith. The schematics were actually written in dwarven. Well, that's another matter.
He is someone I have looked up to in the past, and his success has inspired me myself to follow such endeavors, so thank you for that information.
Another eyebrow your way. Indeed. Well, gentlemen, I must get back to my duties. If there are no further questions, I hope this has satisfied your inquiries. And again, my regards to Phoebe Dunsmith at the Barrel.
Have a great day and enjoy your gear works. Goodbye.
A little thumbs up from Duga over there, Skelly. And he's like, yeah.
He might say you're not very bright, but I think you just shine, my friend. You just shine. Keep singing. You got something special.
He brightens up at you a little bit. Then maybe catches a glimpse of your face and just turns white in horror. Death has told me I have promise. Anyway, out the side door, back through the maze, almost looking at all the amazing inventions and side doors that you can't quite peek in, back to the guards, and Duga dumps you at the gate. Goodbye. Closed, locked, geared. Wow. Now what do you want to do?
Philo, you never cease to surprise me. That is one thing I like about you. Mr. Unexpected.
Never been in a church before. Do they all sing? Because, man, like, singing is my thing. Like, maybe I'm meant to be a church person.
That's what you said about the rodeo, and now you don't do rodeo, so...
No, I haven't had the chance to do the rodeo. I'm already a champion. I already mastered that one.
Get to Grand Cog and then just leave.
Well, done with this.
Okay, Charwin, don't you have the address on you? Where are we headed next?
Yeah, she wrote it down on a piece of paper for me. Should we talk to the neighbor first, or should we go snooping around his place?
Maybe talk to the neighbor first and tell him we'll be snooping. That way they don't get suspicious and call the guards on us.
Oh, that's a good one. They are a snoopy neighbor.
Not just an empty head, my friend.
Maybe we should say that we were hired to, I don't know, protect this Oloman, and we're trying to find him to save his life. Something like that.
I think that's not a bad idea. That kind of caught a fly. We do look like kind of people who could save a life now and then.
Not too far off from the truth, I suppose.
I'm going to tell us check.
From who?
From all of you. Let's think this through. So, Phoebe told you this guy is noisy as well as nosy.
14.
And he's been telling tales, so he likes talking to people and whatnot, right? And something about noise complaints. So you guys roll up, say the cops sent you, get the information you need, and then bail, because you're not going to stay at his house for the next 48 hours. And he starts, describing you guys in detail to the police, the shield marshals, your last location, any updates on what you look like. Is this a really good idea for a tidbit of information? To have the shield marshals updated on your current whereabouts and locale and person,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, unless we had somebody to go in disguise.
Well, that's where Pilo comes into play here. Do you want me to make my disguise, my friend, or should I magical disguise?
How long
Are we
does it
saying
last?
like this disguise is like a marshal or something?
Or a disguise to go talk to the neighbor?
Just a human? Any human would work, I think, because as long as it's not a skeleton.
Or if we're going to go on intimidation, maybe a skeleton will work best. Look what that guy did to me. Oh, he's going to do it to you too, so you better let me help find him. I'm going to go look into his house. Oh.
Yeah, if we pretend to be from the marshals.
Hey, I warned you. If this is the plan, I'm go ahead. Knock yourselves out. I am merely constrained by the short paragraph about this guy and his worldview, and I will act accordingly. And your dice rolls may help or betray you.
Oh, okay. So plan B would be, yeah.
Yeah. I think let's go check out the house first.
You guys want to go feel him out and then feel this guy out before you start spreading audacious lies?
We could check the place out first, and then if he shows up, we can deal with him later.
Well, you guys didn't have a bad idea in the fact that, like, if he sees you coming and going, right? So you deal with him first. And so I think Speigler's suggesting that you guys go feel him out, and then this wonderful lie becomes out as plan B if you guys don't like, what kind of vibe he's laying down.
If they're talking to him, and I do like a stealth check to go in while he's distracted, does that give me like a
go in where?
Circumstance bonus?
Oh well, if Drew and I went,
if you guys talk to the neighbor and I sneak into the house while he's distracted.
Oh, sneak into the guy's workshop?
The workshop.
You want to split the party? Because the workshop is a map dungeon, and Buddy is a side encounter.
No, okay, we'll just go talk to him.
Anybody that can have a roof open up and ride away on a mechanical sphinx probably is protected as workshop. Solo mission, Speigler, go!
I can see the 5, 6, 10 traps already.
I can
see Speigler making up yet another character. That's what
I don't know.
I just bought my thieves toolkit. I can disarm stuff.
And Val rolls crit after crit when it counts. So who knows?
This guy doesn't stand in your way of getting in there, and you could just sneak in there. If you guys just want to use your stealth roll, so the nosy neighbor never saw you enter. There you go.
I think maybe talking to the nosy neighbor, feeling him out first is a good idea, and then we'll kind of play it by ear based on how he acts.
Okay, so getting your butts away from the cathedral and heading back across town.
We good with that, guys?
Yeah, quick feel out.
Yeah.
Okay. Back across the bridge, back across the river, back into Smokeside, over to the Ferris Quarter where you guys were before. Oh. Isn't this where you guys got Gattaby? Somewhere over here somewhere? Oh. Yeah. Okay. Of course, came through the Ferris Quarter. This is where the abandoned brewery was, in the middle of the map, I believe. Okay. Tracking down a nosy neighbor. A ramshackle workshop in a building directly north of Kosoana's workshop is the only place that has a good vantage point and is close enough for anyone living there to complain about noise compared to any other building in the area that isn't already sort of attached to the workshop. So luck's on your side. It's like, that's got to be the guy's place. You guys want to roll up and knock on the door?
Guys, do you think this is okay for a disguise? Should it be more or less does it look like me, or will they know it's me if I take the disguise off?
I don't know. Do you have to do a crafting check or anything? Or?
No, just make a disguise. Why do you think I just stay like this? Am I okay?
You look human-esque.
You're lucky you're my best friend. But thank you.
T-shirt material.
You look human-esque. It could fall for any of us.
T-shirt with Pilo on it pointing at whoever's looking at the guy wearing the shirt. You look human-esque, my friend. Like, my friends, as you look human. It's good. Okay. So heading over to the more tinkery part of town, the Ferris Quarter. The ambient changes, the scene changes, places get smokier and nastier. Though I think only our druid is really affected by the smog. Everybody else doesn't breathe, really.
I'm over here venting my vapor.
Sorry, I was going to say, wait a minute. No, you actually do intake and go
venting, okay. venting.
Picking out a filter every now and then and slapping it clean, putting it back in.
Druid, can you run some water through this for me? You're a druid. Clean this out for me. Oh, look at all that calcium built up, You get the alchemist to make some CLR, clean it. So, stand before a shoddy, ramshackle-looking shop directly north of course, on his workshop. What do you guys want to do?
Let's knock on the door.
Okay.
Is there,
You
is
knock
there
on the
like just like I would say that we'd look at the house? Like, is there anything suspicious, or is it just kind of like a regular normal house through the gate up to the door?
This place looks like he's fit as much of the junkyard you guys found Pilo in on his porch around. There are all sorts of rusted, rickety things that are broken and not worth stealing, because even goblins would, set around in disrepair that maybe hasn't got to or whatever. And on the door you're knocking, it actually is open and a sign says shop is open.
Hey, usually you see these signs on stores and stuff, guys. Is this a store? I don't really know what it says, but
Anyone want to read it?
What kind of language is it?
It's in common, and it's like practically crayon on the open sign that's sketched out. It also says surge time shoppers welcome. Because think about it. If you get caught out in the storm, you're running here for shelter, you're stuck in a store shopping for the entire storm. So, he's got surge time shoppers welcome,
Okay.
so if
I
it's
guess
a
we
store,
walk in.
you don't have to walk on the door. We can just walk right in.
Yeah.
Knock on the door, wait, go in.
Is there anybody else in there? Or?
There's a dude behind the counter. Think of a pawn shop where there's like a top counter shelf hanging down and that chicken wire kind of thing across and a really high desk, that comes up to your chins or at least your chest. The little box open where you could, put stuff almost like a pawn shop. The place is crammed to the tiers, to the rafters with junk. Shelves and bolts and all kinds of stuff. All in disarray. All probably very cheap because he's recycling junk.
I'm picturing the repair shop from Robots, the animated movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good good comparison.
Him in the store? That's an empty store?
All right, diplomacy bros, give at her.
Well,
Diplomacy bros. We flank him for +2 diplomacy. The angel and the devil.
He's off guard to our diplomacy.
I would actually ask
Hey, friend. God, Jesus, that's funny. You guys just flank him and start talking at the same time. What the hell? Didn't even know what hit him. Diplomacy bros. That's good speak. Oh, I'm tired.
That's not our
Everything's
team's
funny.
name.
No. Oh my God, yes. I'm writing that down.
No.
What kind of gang says diplomacy? We're all gunslingers, but we're the diplomacy bros. Or they're the diplomacy brothers. It's a saying, damn it. They don't use diplomacy. They shoot first, intimidate second, and then use diplomacy. No, it's not.
They try to talk to you, but it never works.
That's right. Don't let them get close. +2.
You can call us the Republicans.
Republicans. All right. So, what get it for? Can't you read the sign? I gotta see. Excuse me. Oh, that's a little something for my rheumatism. All right. Can't you read the sign? It says open. Don't need to knock. Dude's got like several cigarettes and stogies all lit, burning, and he's like sampling different ones. Like just all there's a whole bunch of ashtrays in front of him, and he's like, there's all this smoke.
To be honest, my friend, I can't actually read, but my other friends here could, so we knocked before I even noticed. My mistake. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Customers, big paws and eyeballs you like that's what you better be, are always welcome. Always welcome. Come in. Come in. I want to stand about Leground.
I was wondering my good sir.
You are after. So you look like a man on a mission. You look like you're after something specific.
Yeah, you see my friend here, and I'll point to Valentine. He might be in need of some extra filters. The air around here gets a little cloggy after a while, and was wondering if you might have anything of use.
Filters, eh? Huh. Think I recognize that model. Were you standard shield marshal issue? What? Come on. Counter. I can hear damn well, but my eyes aren't what they used to be. He starts fishing around for glasses. He's got glasses around his neck on a chain, but he starts like turning over junk glasses in like a little tray, holding them up, looking through them, holding them up out like this, at our gunslinger. Come here.
As he's looking at Valentine, I'll start to mention, well, we used to get filters down across the way from Kazawana, but appears something happened. I don't suppose you know what would happen over there.
Easy clerical mind of noisy ingenuity. Excuse me. 1 second. You know how many noise complaints I registered with the shield marshals? Not that anything ever gets done under Lovelace's watch. I'll tell you.
I'm sorry. Loveless.
Hey, no spitting in my shop. That's a copper fee.
Oh,
Unless you're trying out the spittoons over there. Feel free.
Oh, do you still need a copper? I'm very confused here, sir.
Something and I'll forget about it.
Oh,
Buy nothing. That'll be a copper fee for spitting on my nice clean floor. You just look down. The floor's like completely greasy and shit.
How much for a spittoon?
Oh, bring one up. I'll tell you how much it's got. He's got like a shelf of them over there. Knock yourself out. Pilot goes, looks at spittoons. Yeah. Sorry, Drew, you're in the middle of asking him something.
While I'm doing that, I'll cast Detect Magic on this door so they can...
Sure.
Let Drew keep talking. There we go.
There you go. Yeah. He goes over, ducks down.
I was asking him, because we used to get the filters from Kaswana, if he knew what happened, because it looks like he's not open right now.
Yes, Kaswana is the only one in the city who actually knew what my model is. He said something along the lines of HK-47.
Kaswana, definitely foolery coming to his shop. You're part of all that noise that he made, he says, scowling at you, possibly blaming you. You literally just linked yourself to the guy he hates.
Oh, no, nothing like that. He had these things off the shelf. We would just stop in, grab them, and leave. All quiet like.
AK-47.
No, sorry.
You ever heard of that model? Come over here.
HK-47.
HK-47. Come over here. Anyway, you come up to his little window.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at you, taps on your shoulder, looks for any identifying little Nike symbol markings or whatever, looks at your face, your very original and unique head shape and laser eye and everything. And he's like, show me what you got. Open up.
My arm, my chest.
Wherever your filter is.
Oh, I turn around and
okay,
pull my coat back over my shoulder and my shoulder blade, kind of like that area.
Okay. So he yanks out your entire tray, and you immediately begin to suffocate like someone just removed one of your lungs. He's just like, instead of like daintily pulling out a filter, he pulls out one of your filter racks that holds 4. Just yoink. Let's have a look at this here.
Can you put that back?
As you start coughing and choking, he's like, nah. And we'll see you all next time as he's holding this filter, and maybe we'll get Speigler to start making suffocation rolls. Have a good night, everybody.
Why do I need a spittoon? I can't even spit.